Let's face it, business technology is frustrating and complex. So how do you make sure it works for your team? To make IT right, start the discussion at go-domain.com. You're listening to Discussions by Domain, a podcast for business leaders. Our discussions may be with people you've probably heard of before, but the majority of our guests are in the trenches, professionals like you and I, with the same challenges and struggles of keeping up in the Northeast. They're implementing strategies, overcoming hurdles. They're leading the fastest growing businesses in our region. My name is Anthony DeGraw, Director of Partnerships at Domain Computer Services, and the host of this show. When I'm not talking with business leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of Domain and the ups and downs of our own growth journey, as we intend to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show. Welcome to another episode of Discussions by Domain. Today we have Natalie Busacca from Local Gold. She is based out of Colts Neck, New Jersey, and Natalie and I got together at the New Jersey State Bar Association event down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and she had a lot to share in terms of growing law firms, and that's their specialty. And I wanted to invite her on the podcast. As the quickest, I think, turnaround I've ever had on the podcast interviews, which is awesome, and just speaks to how much of a sport Natalie is in all this stuff, which is awesome.
Hi, guys.
Natalie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Anthony.
No problem. So let's dive right into it. I mean, obviously, we both serve a similar area, industry. Law firms is one of both of our main clients, and you have a lot to share on how they can actually help grow their firms. So let's just take it from the top there. You know, what is the number one thing you would say that law firms should be looking at in terms of their marketing?
I would definitely say just building their presence online. I mean, 80% of searches are done on cell phones. So to not have a website would be just missing out on a large amount of opportunity out there on the web. I talk to probably 6 or 7 people a day. And, you know, the biggest thing is they think, okay, I have a website, it looks great. And then I do my marketing analysis for them and their website is not showing anywhere. So it's not just about having a site, it's about, you know, building that SEO, building your reviews, and actually submitting your information across the web, building your listings and citations so that no matter where somebody's looking for you, you're able to be found.
Yeah, so go a little bit deeper there. I know from my basic understanding of Google and where they're heading and all the revisions that they do on that algorithm, but talk a little bit about those reviews, because that's something even at Domain here we've seen helping us. We don't know exactly how, but how do you help attorneys either get reviews or help them get reviews from their clients?
Yeah, so the reason we actually built our own technology in terms of helping our legal professional clients build up their reviews. I hate, throwing out stats constantly, but 62% of people choose their attorney based on reviews. So it's very important to build up the reviews. And so we have this technology where when you're meeting with a client, all you have to do is ask them, do you mind if I send you a quick text message to review the practice? If they say yes, we have this back-end system where you put in their name and phone number and press submit, and it will send direct links to our client's Google+, Yelp, and Facebook page. Just makes the process simpler. We used to do emails, and frankly, people get home, they forget about it, and they just don't do it. You want to do it immediate so that this way it's right there in front of them when you're meeting with them, and then you can be there to help them also if they have any problems with it, but it's really not. And then we have technology then that pushes it out across the search engines. We want to make sure that, okay, yes, somebody reviewed you on Google, but they're also going to be seen on Yelp and Facebook and the main areas when it comes to reviews, because like I said, reviews really drive people. Even if you're ranking number 2 or number 3, if you have 75 reviews and the guy down the road, he only has 12, they're going to click on your practice website 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
so we just make the process simple.
100%. I agree with that. And I think a lot of the times I was discussing this too about we even are looking at reviews for the dumbest of products, right? Like
Oh yeah.
a $5 hairbrush, and you want to know like how many reviews it has on Amazon, and that's where you're going to put your $5 or $20.
Yep. It's so
And
true.
we're like the last people to like look for reviews, ask for reviews, and then make them transparent out to the marketplace.
I totally agree. And then, I think reviews can be such an amazing thing, but then I also talk to people where it's hard because then I've seen pretty much everything where, the competitors are out there just writing bad reviews for their competition. And so just making sure, and that's another call that I constantly get is either, somebody, their competitor wrote a bad review, or, what it happens, you had a unsatisfied client and they wrote a bad review, and there's really not much that you can do. So the reviews are becoming even more important to push those bad reviews down and, get you back up to that 5-star rating. So no matter how you look at it, reviews are just really driving the web.
Very good. And it sounds like you guys have a process on the back end, especially with the technology that you have to engage their customers that way quickly and efficiently.
Oh yeah, definitely. To send out that text message and it's right there on their cell phone and they get it immediately is probably the biggest game changer. I had somebody sign up about 3 months ago and they're already at 40 plus reviews. So it works. You just got to make sure you use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We always say the open rates on emails are dropping every single day.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
The open rate on text messages is 100%.
Oh yeah, everybody's on their cell phones. Even 10-year-olds are on their cell phones.
Yeah, no, exactly. Cool. Let's take a step back a little bit. I've even forgot to ask this just because of how good our relationship is already.
Yeah.
But give us a little background on yourself and also Local Gold and what you guys are up to.
Yeah, so we pretty much provide total digital marketing solutions for attorneys, healthcare professionals, home services, local businesses. I've been with the company for about 10 years now. So I've been with them for a really long time, and it's great. They're always constantly updating their technology. The web is constantly changing, and so it's important to stay on top of it. And that's where we come in. We're not this massive company where we lose track of our clients. Everybody gets a dedicated marketing manager. This way you speak to the same person every time. They know the history of your account. And when things are changing, we're bringing new technologies to each one of our clients and building that personal relationship so that they're always one step ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's awesome and good stuff there. And I know you guys have been rocking and rolling for a while there, and you've spread nationally as well, correct?
Yeah, we work nationwide. So anybody that's ever interested in our program, I'd be, the first person to talk to. I actually perform a marketing analysis for anybody that's ever interested in our program. So I look at what they're doing in terms of advertising, more importantly, their competition in their area, because what's going to work for one firm or one practice is not going to work for somebody else. It's just kind of how the web works. So I like to perform that analysis, and then I go over what's going to help. I'm kind of blatantly honest. I don't sugarcoat things, but I also don't sell people on things that they don't need. That's the biggest stepping stone I had to get across, is the fact that there's a lot of liars out there in my industry. And so people already have that guard up. And so I'm very honest. And like I said, I don't sell people and they don't need, but I'm also not going to sugarcoat it. And I'm going to tell you what's really going to work. So
exactly. What are the top things you see out of that market analysis?
It's actually pretty funny. So one of the main things, I'll do a search and people are always like, okay, how come this person is ranking higher than me? And sadly, sometimes there's really no rhyme or reason. I've seen it where somebody's ranking number one and they don't even have a website linked to their citation. Or I come across where somebody's having me do a marketing analysis and their website's not even ranking, or they don't have reviews, or, it really does depend on the area. When I talk to my medical clients, they're really big into Facebook, and Facebook is one of those services where it literally, when it works amazing. When it doesn't work at all. So you do have to look at the area first in order to determine whether or not it is going to work. Because, if you're in an area where There's not a lot of people. It's going to take a while to get people to drive to your practice. Facebook, there's not going to be a lot of people to pull from, so it's not going to work. So it really does depend on the area. It's different for literally every single person that I talk to, but so important to conduct that marketing analysis before jumping on a call.
No, 100% agree. You want to understand, and similar to what we approach it here is we can talk to you about what we do and how we do it, everything. And as long as that makes sense, then the next step for us is always a technology audit, or what we're calling a gap analysis.
Right.
Understand, like, what do you actually have going on? What's working? What isn't? And then if you were an ideal situation from a technology cybersecurity perspective, what are those gaps and what gaps are there? And then how do you solve those gaps? It's very simple. And it also tells you, like, it gives you a roadmap of where to work on.
Right, exactly.
I'm assuming that, it's similar to the fact of, like, you're going to really see a high impact in these couple of areas. And then down the road, we can look at these other channels as well.
Exactly. I'm a big believer in you got to walk before you run. Some people, they're like, okay, I want to, do everything that you do. And I'm like, well, you don't even have a website yet. And then you don't have traffic, of course, because you don't have a website. So the remarketing banners that you might love, yeah, they're great. And they're actually, frankly, one of my favorite services, but they're not going to work because they're based on traffic to your site. So that's another thing is by performing the marketing analysis, it also helps me save people money a lot of the time because, you have to start slow and then build up from there.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get into another channel that you guys are high on right now. You were talking about at the conference, which is YouTube and some of these other video sites that are now advertising, where people are watching and spending a lot of time watching TV now. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, YouTube, Pandora, iHeartRadio are becoming huge. It's hard for firms, small practices, to get that media buy because on TV, because it's so expensive. So now you can reach the 18 to 49 market during prime time more than any other cable network does in an average week for less of the cost. So they're actually the clickable ads that show up when we're talking about YouTube, when somebody's listening to music. I was just listening actually to music on YouTube before we got on this call, and advertisements show up. It's a great way to get that media exposure for that 18 to 49 market at that less of the cost and really do it in a unique way. Pandora, iHeartRadio is on Alexa. I am at home and my little girls are dancing around and they actually know, which is a little bit sad, but Alexa, play this song. And your advertisements show up. They're on Pandora. People have to listen to them on YouTube, Pandora, and iHeartRadio if they're on the free channels, which pretty much everybody is. And your advertisements show up. I mean, you can't beat that type of media exposure. It's amazing. And it's really unique. It's a video. And then the best part is once somebody sees that video, they actually get cookied. And then banner advertisements for your practice follow them around the web.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great. Highly targeted. Yeah, I have two quick examples, even just from this weekend, that I wanted to share with on this. Is I was joking with my wife. We're at the pool and we were listening to Spotify. I have the free version, and vitamin water ice. I've never heard of it. They were advertising like crazy, and it's so stuck in my head now that I want to go try vitamin water ice that I've never heard of. And it was also like a dual ad there, because the guy who was talking about it was actually from this like unique type of museum that was online only. And he ties that in. So they're talking about vitamin.
Oh, no way.
This is the main sponsor of this new museum on Spotify. And I heard it 15 times, listening to Jack Johnson sitting at the pool. So super cool there. Actually, another channel would be podcasting, right? I listen to a decent amount of podcasts, and every once in a while, one of them throws in an ad from whoever it would best fit their audience. So that's definitely a topic too. And the final thing I wanted to tell you about was you were talking about your daughters and dancing and playing songs. My son now over the weekend has had the ability to talk into the Xfinity Comcast remote and say, play Super Monsters. And we don't
no way.
panel for this guy anymore. It's insane.
Yeah. It is crazy how the technology works and how it all ties in. I mean, YouTube, you can actually target people by area. Same with Pandora, which is pretty funny because my Pandora's account is under where I used to live. So I'm getting not only advertisements for where I live now, but also old advertisements, for where I used to live as well. So it is targeted based on accounts too. So if people put in their location and where they're listening to it, you're going to hear advertisements based on that area. So it's really targeted.
Yeah, I was going to follow up with you on that because, like, for attorneys specifically, right? Like, how do they take advantage on the targeting and stuff like that? And that's a good insight there. Anything else on the how they target and how they should message on these platforms?
Yeah, I'm one of those big believers in tailor it towards everybody. You never know who's going to be listening. Get in there, all the types of law that you practice, the type of practice that you are running, so that this way, no matter who's listening to it, it's going to work for them. A lot of people do. I mean, I have to say personal injury, this is going to pull amazing for. We're bringing them in at about $1,500 per case. So the ROI on this is just absolutely amazing, but it is targeted by area. So it does work really well. And that's why I say, keep the message, tailored towards a general base of people, but you can go that specific route if you're really, okay, personal injury, this is what I want to go after. I hear that all the time too. And either way, they do work. I do like the broader base, but it's really in the end up to our clients.
Yeah, and I like that a lot too. It's a different approach because you see a lot about like the Google ads and all the paid advertising, like you mentioned Facebook, and these are just, I think, these are platforms where people are spending their time and attention on now, and at this moment in time, they're still inexpensive. The audience is still inexpensive to get in front of that right audience compared to, I don't, the number probably better than I do, but the Google paid ad for a personal injury firm is probably,
oh my God, it's insane.
Yeah. And you're just kind of, you're competing with everybody there, but these are other things where people are spending time, attention, listening, and you could get in front of them there as well.
I agree. And you could target by area, just like Google pay-per-click. You can target by an area, and then you're showing up with an actual video. You're not just advertising your website. I mean, this is a video that brings them to your website. I mean, you can't beat that.
No, and they're getting to know you right from the ad, right in front of your face too. That's awesome. So what else in terms of, so we started with websites. You got to at least have one of those. Talk to us a little bit deeper. Like, what do you guys look for in a website that converts?
There's got to be calls to action. And frankly, people are lazy, so they want to get to the information quick. So have everything that you do on that home page. So there's actually a way to build a site so that it converts well. Okay. And so, for instance, above the fold is a term that we use. And because people are lazy, the most important information has to be above the fold or before people have to start scrolling down. You want to have your phone number at the top of every single page because, again, people don't want to have to search for it. You want to have, some sort of pop-up so that this way people can fill out a consultation form if they want to. Your address has to be visible as well so that this way people know exactly where you are. Because remember, people are on their cell phones and when, they can get lost very easily on a website. So all the important information has to be in front of their face at all times. You also really want a mobile responsive website because, again, like I said, people are on their cell phones. And what's insane to me is I go on DirecTV. There's two types of sites which people don't realize is there's some sites that are mobile responsive. They're compatible no matter what device somebody's viewing them on. Or they have a desktop and mobile version. So technically there's two. So DirecTV is one of them, which is insane to me because I go on to pay my bill and say I'm on my cell phone and they go click here for the mobile version. Well, that's just annoying. to
Yeah.
me. Nobody wants to have to do that.
Yeah.
You want a site that when I'm viewing it, no matter where I'm viewing it, it's compatible. I don't want to have to go to a mobile version. And it makes it simple because when I'm on my cell phone, all you have to do, there's a phone like little icon on these mobile version sites. They click it and it immediately starts calling. So, that's a really important thing. Again, you want to have calls to action so that people are clicking around on your site. And then most importantly, they want to be able to get to the information quick. So make it user friendly and the information easy to find.
Love it. Love it. And those are all some very good tips and follow up from our conference talks there as well.
Yeah.
Real quick, I think you've shared a ton of value with the audience, and when this goes live, we'll make sure to clearly define all of those things. Let's flip the script a little bit. I don't know if you've been able to listen to any of the episodes yet, but I'd like to get to know the individual a little bit more on a personal level. So I'm gonna hit you with a couple quick questions. I call them the rapid fire questions. They don't have to be rapid fire answers. But real quick, if you were to go back to your younger self, you're just getting out of school, what advice would you give yourself to explore this type of career that you've built for yourself?
I actually think going to community college was one of the best things at first because I didn't put myself in a major yet, and it actually let me get a little older and decide what I wanted to do. But I would say follow your heart, because I went with a lot of things that people were kind of telling me to do, and then it wasn't until I finally closed everybody off and said, okay, Natalie, what do you want to do with your life? So I would tell myself to follow your gut and not listen to people telling you what's going to be best.
I love it. That's awesome. I think there's a big push in the education. Actually, the episode that went aired today, which today is the day after Memorial Day, Tuesday, May 29th. The episode that aired today was a big talk about Defined Logic, who's in Red Bank, and they worked with Monmouth University to go through this digital transformation, digital experience of their own college and what that looks like. There's a lot of competition in that space, and I think it's because of exactly what you said. Grow up, get a little bit more age underneath, a little bit more experience, and understand what you truly want to do. So we're big proponents of the community college experience here at Domain, which is great. All right, let's go to what about a thought leader? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. A thought leader or an organization in the Northeast here, New Jersey, New York based, that the audience should either know about or doesn't know enough about that you think are doing some pretty cool things.
I would have to say I've been really getting into the Chamber of Commerce in each local area because, I am nationwide, but in New Jersey, I go to each Chamber of Commerce as much as I possibly can. It's great to be amongst small businesses, and everybody's there to really help one another out. It's crazy. They really want to see their area grow. So I love Chamber of Commerce. No matter where it is, I've seen that one goal in each and every one of them is just helping each other grow. So I would say look into your Chamber of Commerce. I think each one of them has something special to provide.
Yeah, no, I've one of the best experiences, and even professionally, I couldn't do much, but it was the Jersey Shore Chamber of Commerce. I think it located out of Belmar, and to me, it was just really cool to understand. Like, it was a lot of seasonal businesses for that area, but it was really cool to understand like all the events and activities and things that are actually going on, and how all these local businesses, are from restaurants to the small contracting businesses, are all helping each other.
Right.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And free for referrals.
Yeah, it is. It is. Everybody needs help in a certain way. And so part of the reason why we started the podcast was, not everybody needs help with technology, but they probably need help with something. And, and hopefully we can develop those relationships from a domain perspective and then point them in the right direction. The final one I'm going to hit you with is, what is the book or books or magazines that have helped either impact your life the most or changed your thought process as you've grown throughout your career?
Ooh, that's a good one. Right now, I actually have a book that has completely changed the way I look at things, and it's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This is the second time that I'm reading it back to back. So he has this philosophy, it's the 40% rule, and it basically says that we all live our lives only to 40% of our potential, and it's breaking past that and really pushing ourselves past a mindset where we live our lives to the fullest potential that we possibly can, because we all have a way of thinking, and it's pushing past our limits. And so I've never been one to really work out, which is pretty funny because my husband is exercise science and he runs a wellness facility and he's all about it. But I just started exercising and really getting into it now 5 days a week for 2 hours each day. I work out. I just completed the Murph challenge yesterday.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. So it's really just kind of pushing me past my limits, and it's just a different way of looking at things. I do have to say, if it's not for the faint of heart, he does tell you to man up and get after it. And, the only person, when you're looking in the mirror, you can't lie to that person because it's only you looking back. And it's just holding yourself accountable. I love this book, and I highly recommend it to everybody.
Thank you for the share. That's awesome. And I think putting that you've your second time running through it, so you definitely got something out of it. Very good. Well, thank you for coming on. The next question would be, where, if people are interested, can they reach out to you? Social profiles, the company itself, Local Gold. Where's the best avenue for them to get in contact with you to learn more about the services?
Yeah, all you have to do actually is we have, if you go to schedulenatalie.com, will send you a link to my calendar. This way you can choose a date and time that works best for you.
Okay.
And it will allow me to perform a marketing analysis ahead of time. Also, my direct phone is 732-410-7826. But again, the best way to get a hold of me and book directly on my calendar is schedulenatalie.com.
Very good. We'll make sure we link to that in the show notes. And what are the, give us a couple of the social profiles that you guys are pushing a lot of content out through?
I would say our Facebook page, so Local Gold Facebook, and then also on our website, if you just go to localgold.com, we put out all our latest news and blogs and so forth directly there as well.
All right, Natalie, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you being on, and this will go live in a couple of weeks here. And
great, Anthony. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. To ensure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device. To help us get the word out, share with a friend, leave a review, and check out our discussions on the web at go-domain.com/podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.